Sunday's FA Cup third-round action once again reminded football fans why this competition remains one of the most loved tournaments in the world. Across England, big clubs were pushed, underdogs fought bravely, and drama unfolded from the first whistle to the very last minute. With Premier League sides entering the competition, expectations were high, but as history has shown time and time again, the FA Cup rarely follows a script. Arsenal, Leeds United, West Ham United, and Brighton all secured their place in the fourth round, while Manchester United suffered a painful exit at Old Trafford, adding another chapter to an already turbulent season. At Pride Park, Leeds United were tested by a determined Derby County side who showed no fear against top-flight opposition. Leeds arrived under pressure after a chaotic league defeat earlier in the week, and Daniel Farke opted to rotate his squad heavily, giving opportunities to players who had seen limited minutes. Derby started brightly, pressing high and playing with intensity, and their confidence was rewarded midway through the first half when they took the lead. The home crowd sensed an opportunity, especially after Leeds had already missed a penalty, and for a moment it felt like the visitors were heading for another frustrating afternoon. However, the second half told a different story. Leeds came out with greater urgency, moving the ball faster and finding spaces between the lines. Their equaliser shifted the momentum completely, and suddenly Derby were the side under pressure. Just minutes later, Leeds struck again, taking the lead with a well-taken goal that exposed Derby's defensive gaps. The Championship side tried to respond, pushing bodies forward in search of an equaliser, but that only left them vulnerable on the counter-attack. Deep into stoppage time, Leeds delivered the final blow, sealing a 3-1 victory and confirming their place in the next round. It was a strong reminder of their quality and resilience, especially after recent setbacks. Down on the south coast, Arsenal faced Portsmouth in a match that briefly looked like it might produce a famous cup upset. The hosts stunned the visitors with an early goal, igniting Fratton Park and giving the home fans hope of something special. Arsenal, however, showed the composure expected of a title-challenging side. Despite making numerous changes to their starting lineup, they quickly regained control of possession and began to dictate the tempo of the game. Their equaliser came from a corner situation, with pressure in the box forcing a defensive mistake that brought the scores level. From that point on, Arsenal took command, and Gabriel Martinelli became the central figure in the contest. His movement caused constant problems, especially from set pieces and wide areas. Another corner led to Arsenal's second goal, with Martinelli reacting quickest to flick the ball home at the near post. Although Arsenal missed a penalty that could have extended their lead earlier, they never lost focus. Martinelli added his second with a close-range finish after a low cross, and later completed his first senior hat-trick with a powerful header. The match also provided a memorable moment for the club as a teenage substitute was introduced late on, marking a significant milestone in Arsenal's FA Cup history. The final score of 4-1 reflected Arsenal's control and experience, even after an early scare. At the London Stadium, West Ham United were pushed to the limit by Queen's Park Rangers in a tense all-London affair. Coming into the match under pressure following a difficult run of league results, West Ham needed a response, and they found it in moments rather than dominance. The breakthrough came just before half-time, when the hosts finally turned sustained pressure into a goal, giving them a narrow advantage heading into the break. However, QPR refused to back down, and their persistence paid off in the second half when they found an equaliser, stunning the home crowd and forcing the match into extra time. With legs tiring and tension rising, the match was finely balanced, but West Ham's new signing proved decisive. In extra time, a perfectly delivered cross found its target, and a powerful header restored the home side's lead. It was a moment of relief for the players, the manager, and the supporters, as West Ham finally secured a much-needed victory. The 2-1 win not only sent them into the fourth round, but also provided a morale boost at a crucial point in their season. The biggest talking point of the day came at Old Trafford, where Manchester United were knocked out of the FA Cup by Brighton. With managerial changes already creating uncertainty at the club, United needed stability and confidence, but instead they were punished by a well-organised and fearless Brighton side. The visitors struck first, capitalising on defensive lapses and silencing the home crowd early. United struggled to impose themselves, and Brighton continued to grow in belief as the game progressed. The second goal came from a familiar source, with a former United forward delivering a clinical finish that summed up Brighton's efficiency on the day. Old Trafford watched in frustration as United chased the game, and although a late header gave them hope, the task became even harder when a young substitute was sent off after picking up 2 bookings. Brighton held their nerve in the closing stages, seeing out the match and securing a historic FA Cup victory at one of football's most iconic venues. Elsewhere across the weekend, the FA Cup continued to deliver chaos and excitement. Wrexham battled past Nottingham Forest on penalties after a thrilling draw, while Sunderland eliminated Everton in another shootout. Wolves ran riot against Shrewsbury, Manchester City produced a ruthless display against Exeter, and Newcastle edged Bournemouth in a dramatic penalty contest. Chelsea, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley and Brentford also progressed, while Crystal Palace suffered a surprise exit at the hands of Macclesfield. As attention now turns to the final third-round tie between Liverpool and Barnsley, anticipation continues to build for the fourth-round draw. With Premier League giants, ambitious Championship sides, and fearless lower league teams still in the competition, the path ahead promises more surprises. The FA Cup once again has shown that form, budgets, and league position offer no guarantees, and as the competition moves forward, every club remaining will believe that their moment could still come.